The following was recorded live at Conference21, May 21st to 23rd, 2021.
Welcome to Being Totally Human. What is totally human? It's having a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy life. Good afternoon. My name's Dennis Paul, and I'm with Chronic Wellness International here in South Florida, helping people around the world with their mental, physical, and spiritual and emotional health. We're going to be talking about something very interesting today, hypnosis. Is hypnosis in your future? This is going to encompass influence, healing, personalities, and why people buy. So don't think that just because you might be in a different industry that this will not apply to you, because I'm opening up my toolbox and you're going to find it pretty amazing. In reality, when you take and you're looking at the world of influence, healing, personalities, and why people buy, it seems like an odd ensemble of subjects. So in integration, in reality, when all these things are integrated together, they become and create a harmonious synergy. The role of a hypnotist is to guide you through the past traumas, the negative experiences, fear, and lead you to become totally human. In this presentation, I'm going to take and show you how hypnosis and the tools in my toolbox will make this impact to you and your business. So now I open my toolbox. Disparaged by Western medicine, it was back in the 60s that hypnosis withstood the insults and denigration while the rest of the world embraced the power of the mind. And as a result, recent research that has been completed will very soon show hypnosis will regain the prominence, and it'll soon be released with extraordinary scientific research now completed by a highly respected world-class institution. And let me repeat, it is science-based research that supports the powerful claims of the benefits of hypnosis. So no one will be laughing like a man running across the chicken anymore, or a chicken running across the stage anymore. That is stage hypnosis. Does anybody know who the very first hypnotist was? You got it. He performed surgery without drugs, without anesthesia, and he created another person, all for the price of a rib. So understand that hypnosis was used because if you read Genesis, it talks about how God put Adam to sleep. Now, as we look at all of the different types of areas that we can use hypnosis, we're looking at naturopathic or homeopathic healing. We're looking at all the different kinds of coaching, whether it's life coaching, health coaching, whether it's business coaching, whether it's sports coaching. All of these areas are open to improvement by improving the mind. Sales performance, oh my gosh, we can have a whole subject just on that. Nutritionists, being able to deliver nutrients more effectively. So this is an area that's not limited to any specific industry. So having said that, let us begin with the brain, this amazing electrochemical supercomputer. And this is where all disease begins and ends. In fact, it's where all of your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional functions reside. And it's really fascinating. It's not only in a zombie apocalypse where there's no brain activity, or in unconsciousness on a table in surgery are we considered dead. No, it is when there is no brain activity. And some of my friends want to dispute this when they point to politicians, but I'm not here to take any position. So the one thing that we need to understand is that there is a gut-brain connection. So when I explore with my associate, Dr. Sermont, tomorrow, I hope you'll join Doc and Dennis at 2:15, and we'll explain this in greater detail. Now, what is the brain? We're looking specifically at the brain's performance, and we find three levels: our conscious, our subconscious, and our unconscious level. In the conscious level, which is where we operate most of the time, we're constantly analyzing things and making decisions. Our rationale is where we make those decisions. And of course, our willpower is what drives that. And this is also where our short-term memory resides. Then we have the subconscious level. And we don't often think of this, but this is where that super computer records every second, every breath, every memory of your entire pre-birth until your last breath. It also records all your habits, your good habits, bad habits. Your emotions all come out of your subconscious. Your subconscious is also very protective in terms of fight or flight. But having said that, the subconscious is also very lazy. And then we look at the unconscious level, which is where all of the automatic body functions take place. And this is also where the immune system resides. Doc and I have had many conversations about this. But the one thing I want to go back to is you see that line between the conscious and subconscious level. The CF stands for critical factor. Critical factor is that line where you go from conscious to subconscious levels. Now, some people say, oh, I can't be hypnotized. But they can take a long road trip, and on that long road trip, all you hear is the humming of the tires, the thump, the thump, the thump, and that noise over a period of time, even the droning of the radio, actually takes and starts to bring you into a subconscious level. How do we know that? How many times have you gone on a long road trip and then woke up or came to a conscious level going, oh my gosh, I missed my exit? Or I've driven 30 miles and I don't even remember getting here. And it is that critical factor is how a hypnotist will use certain suggestions and techniques to be able to go into the subconscious level, to be able to make changes, to clean up that hard drive of trauma, bad negative memories, and to at the same time implement good habits and eliminate bad habits. Being able to change belief systems from belief systems that were ingrained into us as a child, maybe that were not good. We can take those lessons learned and move them into a good belief system. So the mind being extremely powerful, we do a lot of work there in terms of, as I was saying, healing. In a moment, we'll return to the conscious level. But right now, how many of you are still conscious? I hope all of you are. So let's apply this to daily applications. We want results. It doesn't matter what we do. We want to get extraordinary results over and above what competition is getting. And we do that with hypnosis. How do we do that? It's called influence. We are being bombarded on a daily basis by radio, by TV, by social media, by all the elements, advertising, marketing campaigns, all using subconscious hypnotic influence for us to make buying decisions. As a result, it's often misused and misleads the masses into the wrong direction. Everybody remembers the Pied Piper. What happened to those people? So influence becomes an extraordinarily important part of a hypnosis world. And if you're looking to influence customers, this is the tool. Let me stop for a moment. Why did I get into hypnosis? Well, let me share with you that I had Crohn's disease for 5 decades. During that period, it was a 24/7 disease, and I hated taking opioids. I hated taking painkillers. I hated taking antibiotics and biologicals, all the things that actually decrease the health of your body while it's trying to supposedly take care of your issues. But then you're taking one drug to offset another drug, and that gerbil wheel just starts to spin faster and faster. But when you have that pain and discomfort, what I was looking for was some way of eliminating that pain. And it was through hypnosis that I learned to manage my pain. I managed to learn how to handle my flare-ups. And so in the learning of self-hypnosis, I found my calling as a hypnotist. And I've trained under some of the most incredible people like Gerald Kine, who is a top student for Dave Ellman, who's one of the original most famous hypnotists. And I've trained and had mentors in other areas, and I continue to train on a regular basis. One thing I will tell you, when you go to a hypnosis conference, you'll come home with your feet not touching the floor because you've had 9 to 12 different hypnotic sessions and your energy is just off the charts. So it was through hypnosis that I was able to begin my healing process. Now, how many of you recognize this little guy? Yes, this is Santa Claus. This is the dog that Homer Simpson loves to talk to, and the dog, all he hears is blah, 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 food, blah, 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 treat. And that's how we listen to people. So how do we take and carry a message that's effective? This is another tool I want you to understand is incredibly powerful when combined with hypnosis or used without hypnosis. This is an assessment program where you can take and determine why people buy. And it's based on 4 codes. The blueprint is blue, the action's red, nurturing yellow, and K is knowledge. This is an extraordinary program that's been scientifically validated, is used in over 180 countries, by major universities, by governments, our own government agencies, Fortune 100s, Fortune 500s, because people are learning how to make communication and take it to a high level so that you have high level results. Having said that, let me move forward and give you a little more idea what this is about. And of course, this is something that you can write down and you can crack your code and see what your own personality assessment is. And if you crack your code, you'll receive a report on your personality, and it tells you your different triggers, your different traits. But at the same time, that report, which is normally $99, is free for Conference 21 attendees. So let's take one of these reports. Oh my goodness, does anybody know the name Michael Whitehouse? This happens to be the code that Michael cracked when he took this assessment, meaning that he is a nurturing individual. That means he's trying to build a community of people that all have the same goals in mind. And I think that clearly states what Conference 21 is about. Blueprint. He has a program designed for Conference 21. Blueprint love details. They love to have systematically organized. There's a lot more traits, but to keep things moving, I want to go to knowledge. Knowledge is his third position, and this represents where people resort to when they're under stress. It's that fight or flight situation. So Michael goes back to his knowledge. And then his last position is action. And action is normally a little more higher risk taking, but man, they're the people that get things done. So if we look at these assessments, we begin to understand how people think because of their own personality. And you'll get this when you do your own assessment. Now, there's a number of other ways that you can assess someone's personality. Notice in the upper right-hand corner, click to decode personality. But I wanted to be a little more different in my approach with Michael. So what I did is I took Michael's description in his bio profile of LinkedIn, and I used it and loaded it into the decoder. So this is actually out of Michael's profile. Then look at the top. His code changed. He is action first, nurturing. Knowledge stayed the same, but blueprint is now last. So when I go to communicate and send a message, talk to Michael, or come up with a presentation that I want to share with Michael, I can take and I can actually have an AI, an artificial intelligence way of scripting my message to Michael. Now, this has been extraordinary for me in hypnosis. I was hitting one out of 4 patients in terms of my messaging, because it was my message to the client. However, that doesn't mean the message was clear. When I started using my scripting formulas, all of a sudden, the message is to what they want to receive, not what you want to tell them. And as a result, the hypnosis sessions have been extraordinary and incredibly powerful. But at the same time, when you message a client, a prospect, when you talk to them in their language, they want to listen to you. Now, I told you earlier that this was a science-based technology, artificial intelligence, as well as emotional intelligence. And today, now there are a lot of papers being written on the power of emotional intelligence. That is what drives our inner being. In the white papers, which is an executive summary, there's a number of different white papers that are included, but the conclusion is that this technology is a game changer. It's not something of the future, it's here and now. We are talking about the ability to communicate in any language, on any level, in any place around the world, which is phenomenal. And of course, all of the statistics show, even though we have 4 bank codes, you have a mixture or an ultimate combination of 24 different codes. So how do you do that? Well, it's kind of hard to do on your own, but when you have artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, it helps you to get to that clear message. So if you want to get a copy of your own Codebreaker Banks program, you can go in and you can sign up, get your own for $50. Not only do you have unlimited access to the program, but they also give you 90 days to the artificial intelligence. And you get Sherry Tree, the founder of this technology. You get her book, which has been on the Amazon bestseller list for years, which is normally $30. I've spilt more on a bar on a Saturday night. So that's something that I urge you to take a serious look at and do your due diligence. Now, I'd love to quote the most famous forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He says, never let a good brain go to waste.